I need a haircut, and I got that Best Jeanist look going on, so sorry. But Deku on his own? I feel that this is necessary for him, but he might be a bit in over his head. What's up, it's Truth Hero, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter review. Boku no Hero Academia chapter 306 of the manga. So there's three major things to talk about, really two, but we'll start off with the huge distrust in society for the heroes, and this compounded by the fact that certain civilians get special treatment, those being the parents of UA students. Number two, Deku revealing to everyone in his class the secrets about One For All and his quirk from All Might, and Deku leaving his Hero Academia. Let's dive in. The chapter opens with Hawks and Best Jeanist explaining to All Might that some heroes know about One For All, although not all the details. Rumors are spreading which certainly concern All Might, and that Shigaraki is going after Deku to get this power. All Might agrees with Best Jeanist and Hawks that these rumors are concerning, and Shigaraki's apparent plan to go after Deku is as well, so he's going to tell them all the details later at a separate location, which ironically by the end of this chapter seems kind of irrelevant and needless because Deku just spills the tea anyway to all of his classmates, but more on this later. The important thing to note is that All Might, Best Jeanist, and Hawks, as well as the few remaining heroes, and I should say true heroes that remain because they didn't quit, realize that they're not just fighting villains anymore. These aren't run-of-the-mill criminals. This is Shigaraki and All For One and his crew, and the heroes have to go up against another entity, society itself. No civilian in Hero Society trusts heroes, and I can't fault them. They're not to blame. The heroes are. So, what do you do in this situation? Talk to the cameras? Address the media? Maybe? Well, they do address the media, and it goes about as well as you'd expect. Hawks reveals his criminal family's past and apologizes for this, and Endeavor details the entire Todoroki family drama. Endeavor's family past aside, because anyone, it's understandable that if they view him as a hero, would be upset with this, I really feel bad that Hawks has to apologize for what his parents did and the fact that they were criminals because he was just a child. He did nothing wrong. In fact, he was in a very bad situation until the government came in and helped him become a hero. So I feel bad that he has to be so sorry for this and so ashamed of this. Perhaps this is a Japanese thing because your long-lost cousin, if he's even remotely a criminal, just puts some dishonor on the entire family. But yeah, I really feel bad for him. I mean, these parents, he doesn't really even know them anymore. The mom is gone, he tried to find her, and he's pretty much all alone, but still paying for these mistakes by his parents. Hawks also addresses the fact that he killed twice and resorted to violence, and honestly, I thought there'd be a lot more on this. I thought people would be a lot more upset. They saw the video, they saw everything. Hawks did do a good job in explaining it, and he had to make a judgment call in the moment, but I honestly thought there'd be more. But I guess with all the destruction, all the heroes retiring, Endeavor's family drama, I guess that was kind of the lowest on the totem pole of things from this battle that upset Hero Society and the civilians living in it. So I hope Hawks can sort of come to grips with what he's done. He might have to answer for this at some point down the line, but yeah, I honestly thought there'd be more on this. Let me know if you guys thought that they would address twice and a hero actually killing a villain instead of subduing him more in this arc and in this chapter. Comment down below. People are noticeably upset at the heroes, and this lady even calls them out. You know, what was happening? How could this happen? Gigantamachia's rampage took my mother away from me. So many people are without homes and have lost their lives. And Endeavor says, what would make you happy? If I cried, if I poured out my tears to you? Of course not. The only thing that's going to make you happy is if I ease the panic. If I stop these villains. And that's exactly what the person Endeavor is going to do. He goes on to say, listen, my secret's out. I can take this. Direct all your worries and your hate at me, so long as you just watch me. I really like this because it's a just watch me 2.0, but now Endeavor knows what it's like to be a true hero in the midst of this terrible situation. he's really ready to redeem himself and be an actual hero for the first time. Not that he wasn't number one, but he got that position because All Might left. Now Endeavor really will be the number one hero, and honestly, if you can solve this mess, you deserve the title of number one hero. Best Jeanist tells the media of the plan to prioritize certain civilians, and perhaps there are other ones included in this, but what we know for right now is that parents of the students in UA will move into the UA compound for further protection from villains. And I gotta say, while that's great for the students of UA, I don't think this is going to go over well in the court of public opinion on heroes in Hero Society. I mean, we're saying that only regular civilians that have some connection to heroes are going to be protected. What about the people that live near them? Are they going to get to move in along with their neighbors who are the parents? What about the people that have had to resort to support items just to defend themselves and their businesses against all these villains, especially now all the ones that have broken out of prison? I don't see this going over so well, unless there's going to be other centers where people can move into and, other schools that can protect them. This is not going to end well, at least for the heroes in the short term, amongst opinion in people's minds. They're not going to like this. I don't know what I'm saying right now. But the point is, if you want to further divide Hero Society and further instill this idea that the heroes are not protecting people, or they're giving favoritism to some people and people are being neglected and having to fend for themselves, and hey, maybe they'll turn to villainy, fine. Keep doing that. I mean, you're doing a great job already of it. There's a flash forward at the end of the chapter that says it's April. The villain war arc started in March, so this is perhaps a few weeks later after the whole incident. And we see the students in the dorms at UA, and everyone has received a letter from Deku, not just Uraraka. We see the letter that she receives, and it says, basically, from Deku, I have a quirk that was passed down to me from All Might. It's one for all, and it's a power, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't go into too much detail about how it works or vestiges, but it's safe to say that Deku's secret is out. And if Uraraka's letter is the same as everyone's in the dorm, which I assume it would be, although that is an interesting possibility. What if Uraraka has a different letter from everyone else? What if everyone has their own custom letter? I guess we'll see in the next chapter. But this means everyone now knows in Class 1A. Bakugo isn't the only student. And I'm not sure if this is a big deal at this point. I think Deku can trust them with his secret. But All Might was going to say something. Now he doesn't have to. Maybe some of the other heroes should know about this. But I'm very curious as to why Deku chose to tell his classmates. I don't think he needed to do this. But maybe it's because he's gone away and is now leaving UA because he knows that Shigaraki is after him and him alone. So maybe he's trying to do the selfless thing and divert Shigaraki away from the school. And that's obviously what we'll talk about. That's the other important thing about this. But I just know from Uraraka's reaction, and perhaps his classmates as well, that Deku is probably not going to be alone for very much longer. They're going to go after him and probably help him. And that will be exciting to see. Deku leaves his Hero Academia. What do you guys think about this? I think there's a lot of things, but one, I think it's necessary for Deku to actually do this. I think he needs to have a little journey alone. He needs to sort of learn, maybe from the vestiges, what their remaining quirks are and master these alone. I think that's a good opportunity for him to do this. I also think he needs to get away from All Might a little bit. Not that All Might has really been helping him lately, because he kind of can't, and he's kind of taught him everything he knows, except for, the vestiges, and he didn't have those. So it's sort of similar to when Shigaraki tried to get away from All for One, and that didn't really work in the end, because now All for One's back. But Shigaraki went by himself with his villains, got away from All for One, says it's my turn, and when he was facing the Liberation Army, really awakened his power and his true potential as the villain king. So maybe Deku can have a similar experience by going this alone and, fighting villains and using the vestiges quirks and communicating with them and really awaken his quirk. Maybe he'll awaken some other power in One for All. As necessary as this solo journey is for Deku, I don't think he'll do it alone much longer. There's a little thing at the end of this chapter that says, the beginning of the end. Whether we want My Hero Academia to end right now or in 20 years like it's a new One Piece, who knows? But the point is, a new conflict will eventually happen and will probably grow out of this journey with Deku. As we've seen with characters that try to go it alone and try to do that selfless thing and protect friends and family because, you know, it's their responsibility, and Deku feels like maybe he failed during this last battle and, you know, he has to bear that burden. That's not going to last long, okay? His friends, particularly Uraraka, who definitely knows what he's up to, are going to come to his aid. And I think that's what's going to lead to the final epic battle between All For One and Shigaraki, Deku, the League of Villains, Liberation Army, Class 1A, Class 1B, maybe Shiketsu, just all the villains, all the heroes thrown together. So I see that happening, and I don't see Deku, you know, being this sort of rogue player for very much longer. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Does it matter that Deku basically told everyone about his quirk? I don't really see it. I mean, there's so much to deal with anyway. But what do you think about Deku leaving UA? Is anyone going to follow him? What is Bakugo going to do? I'd love to hear your theories on this. If you like My Hero Academia content and these chapter reviews, consider enrolling at UA today by subscribing. And until next time, hero or villain plus ultra.